And we're live under the Saturday night lights. Is it night yet? Nighttime, bitch. Nighttime. I swear. What's up, everyone? I am the hostess with Moses, the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, lightworker, starseed, earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic witch, yogi, guru, evangelist, North American Sybil. I am your messenger of God, the first child of God, Lilith reincarnated. Does anybody ever listen to that? Anyways, moving on. You know what I noticed was very strange? I have like 19 views on my fucking, Satanism video about who Satan was and all that, which was very interesting because I totally tore that motherfucker apart. It's like, this shit ain't real. So I'm glad that everybody learned that from the basics. Like, this shit ain't real. Let's teach you some more unreal shit. What do we got tonight? I labeled the video. I'm going to teach you how to alchemize, that's what they call it, to alchemize a thought or an emotion, using the teachings, ancient teachings of Jewish rabbis and the alchemical, or the alchemy, the Magnum Opus, and the 12 gates of alchemy. And that's how to transmute energy in general, alright? I didn't know this is what I was doing, but in the very beginning of my videos, I called myself a power plant. Just taking in all kinds of shit, producing all kinds of light out of it, which is exactly what this is. You're like a tree, taking all kinds of fucking carbon monoxide, and you put out oxygen for everyone to breathe. Gives them new life and shit. So that's what this is, but it happens during the dark night of the soul. And the whole process is to do these, this is the process. So I'm going to walk you through some understandings of it, and then we're going to break into this book that I haven't really got into from Carl Jung. And the reason why is he's mentioned in all of our teachings. They used his teachings to further elaborate the teachings. Alright, so the ascension works like this. Every time you do this, you ascend higher and higher in your consciousness. Okay, to be someone like me, a master alchemist, you do this with every thought, with every feeling. You totally break it down to the fine fibers of, the raw materials that it was made of, and you rebuild it. You reconstruct it within your mind and your way of thinking about shit. Alright, so the first stage is calcination. It's called the dark night of the soul. This is an internal transformation through fire. Alright, initiating the alchemical process, the spark of inspiration to change is typically triggered by a difficult event or a life discord. You guys have been there since yesterday. You have something that you have to choose. Now, before I get started, let me point out something here. I was out meditating, enjoying my day. I had a good day. Did you have a good day? God didn't bother me. He just let me sit in the day and enjoy the day. And that's a good day. And then he came over bothering me with some shit. And, going back to, let me explain something here about these twin flames. And what do I call you? I'm not supposed to call you mean names right now. But in the essence, these guys, since the beginning, have told me that they're incapable of becoming the best version of themselves, is what I asked of. I'm asking you to be a better version of yourself than what you are right now. And you're telling me that you can't do it. You can't be that guy. I'm not asking you just for me. I'm asking you for you because you need to be a better version. A woman like me is going to call you to be more than what you are. It's not that we don't love you the way that you are. It's that we see the potential and we're asking you to step into that. To step into what we see that you're capable of being. Right? So, in essence, it's like, I don't know, just to break down the whole process, it's like, asking Russ in the beginning to fucking leave his fucking family and step out and fucking, build a connection with me was asking him to be a better version of himself. Asking Bobby to fucking stop you know, to not do this way and to leave his wife and have a connection with me was asking him to be a better version of himself. You know what I mean? I'm asking you to be a better version of yourself, and you're telling me you can't be that person. You can't live up to that expectation. It's not an expectation, it's who you're meant to be. I'm calling you to be better. Not just for me, but for yourself. Because, in essence, making these changes, and it can't be for me. And that's really the truth. The changes I make can't be based on anyone else, because I'll give up on you. For sure, I'll give up on you. But I don't give up on myself. Right? So taking this journey is about becoming the best version of yourself. And no matter how cool you think you are, you sit there in a moment and you realize, damn, I could be better in this area of my life. And that's the mastering of all of this, is breaking it all down and shit like that, right? So going back to negotiations and stuff like that, it's like, you know, I'm not asking for too much. You're making it seem like it's fucking impossible, that you're not capable of being that person. Like Marshall isn't capable of fucking making music without dropping names and talking shit. I'm asking you to be the best version of yourself. You're still capable of being that guy, but this would be a better version of you. I'm asking Lewis to be free and spread his wings as far as they can reach, but he can't do that strapped to a fucking rocket ship every fucking weekend. I'm not asking you to be less. I'm asking you to be more. You stay in your small boxes and in your little cages holding the door shut. And that's that devil card. I could pull it out in my thing. You're holding the door shut. Nobody else is. That's that video we had earlier about that 8 of fucking swords. It's like you're fucking trapped there because you don't want to open the fucking gate. There is nobody, bro, stopping you from walking out on your life and starting a new life. You built this fucking prison. You built it all around you, and you say you can't. Where's your self-control? Where's your freedoms? Where's you in this whole equation of your life? Okay, going back to it. So, we're at the beginning where you guys are being faced, and it happens all the fucking time, but especially on a Friday. You've got to make a choice to be a better version of yourself. Which means you have to give up a part of yourself to be that version of yourself. Changes, you know what I mean? Sacrifice equals rewards. You're sacrificing a way of being to be something better. You can't be better without changing. It's how it works, the evolution. So, it starts, this is an internal transformation through fire, right? The spark. You're going to light your ass on fire. Now, look at it this way. There's 12 gates, 12 signs. So here goes Aries, the fire. Next stage, gate 2, disillusion. This is the stage through the element of water. The subconscious mind is cleansed of limitations, trauma, outdated patterns, and belief systems. Alright, so now you know you have to make a change. Now you're working through your emotions about it. That's what we pulled up in the Moon card. That's what we pulled up in the King of Cups card. Yes? Does everybody understand this? This is how it works. You have to work through. You have to cleanse your limitations of why you can't. And go back and find out what trauma caused you to feel like this. And get rid of these old, outdated patterns that keep you back. And the belief systems that you can't. I'll teach you to walk through all that. Okay? Now remember, that was your water sign. What comes in the... Watch this. Watch this, mofos. Did you know this before? No, every time we read it, we learn something new, and they just showed me. All this knowing should be something. Alright. Watch this. So there's your spark, right? Calcination. Your emotional cleansing. Right? Through the waters. Tauruses are all fucking emotional. Hard-headed, and that's what you're working through is your head, right? Yes. All right, after that is a state of separation, division, and integration. It's a time to remove or sever ties with that no longer fits your newly activated light. Cut cords of societal programming, toxic people, and difficult memories that hold back your light. To be honest, I gotta look back, dude. I used to do this stuff really on Saturdays. I mean, you can do it whenever. I have had to do them. That one with Lewis was in the middle of the week. That one was fucked up. What happened? I just saw him differently, bro, and I had to stand back. The whole way I viewed this man and my reality of this man completely changed, and I, like, the fucking rose-colored glasses came off. It wasn't a terrible thing. It's just I saw him for who he really is, instead of, superstar over there. I mean, dude, those moments, man, I'm like, oh my god, Becky. Is that Eminem? Eminem, did you see this? I am crushed. Using the element of air, this decreases your energetic load. What is it? It just stops you in your path, bro. You just stop thinking that way. You work through it all. Why did you think that way? There's all different kinds of ones. Right? So there's your separation, right? Two parts of you're separating. There's your Gemini. Through your air. Dun, dun, dun. Coincidental? I don't think so. Conjunction. After separation, it's time to reunite and harmonize your mind with your physical and spiritual through the element of earth. Self-acceptance and empowerment are key during this stage. That's where I was. Where? In the earth. Just going through self-acceptance. And that's it. I went through it all real fast. What was it? It hit me on Thursday. It was fucking baby daddy number 1. Assailant number 1. And that's it. I just had to, what did I have to do? I had to work through the subconscious mind, cleansing limitations, the traumas, outdated patterns, and belief systems. Right? And that was it. I saw the patterns, I saw everything. It's time to remove and sever what no longer fits you. Activate. Yeah, that's where it is. And then it's like self-empowerment, self-acceptance are key during the stage. This is where your divine feminine tells your brain that you did the right thing. Really? Pretty much. That would be very Cancerish. Alright, after this comes what? Dun, dun, dun. The shadow release. Putrefaction. Let's see. Decay, death, and rotting away describes the putrefaction stage. While it may sound morbid, this is when remaining internal dark energies rise to the surface. Shadows of the soul are visible, causing difficult emotions. As stated by psychoanalyst Carl Jung and Psychology and Alchemy, this is where we purge the darkness of our minds. This is where I take a pause for the cause, and we're going to go into Man and His Symbols by Carl Jung. We're going to jump all the way to page 171, the realization of the shadow. Whether the unconscious comes up at first in a helpful or negative form, at a time that need usually arise to readapt to the conscious attitude in a better way to unconscious factors. Therefore, to accept what seems to be criticism from the unconscious. Through dreams, one can, a bunch of weird pictures, become acquainted with the aspects of one's own personality, and that for various reasons one has preferred not to look at too closely. This is what Jung called the realization of the shadow. He used the term shadow for this unconscious part of the personality because it actually often appears in dreams in a personified form. The shadow is not the whole of the unconscious personality. It represents unknown or little-known attributes and qualities of the ego, except that most aspects that mostly belong to the personal sphere and that could just as well be conscious. In some aspects, the shadow can also consist of collective factors that stem from a source outside the individual's personal life. When an individual makes an attempt to see his shadow, he becomes aware of and often ashamed of those qualities and impulses he denied in himself, but can plainly see in other people. Such things as egotism, mental laziness and sloppiness, unreal fantasies, schemes and plots, carelessness, cowardice, inordinate inordinate love of money and possessions. In short, all little sins about which he might previously have told himself, that doesn't matter, nobody will notice, and in any case, other people do it too. If you feel an overwhelming rage come up in you when a friend reapproaches you about a fault, you can be fairly sure that at this point you will find a part of your shadow of which you are unconscious. It is, of course, natural to become annoyed when other people who are no better criticize you because of shadow faults. But what can you say if it's your own dreams? An inner judge in your own being reproach you. And I posted that yesterday. It's like, what did it say? Being around you makes people look at themselves and they hate it. And I said, the mirror works both ways. Because right before I'm about to project onto you, I see what I see myself. So I have to look at myself before I point out yourself so I can bring you down saying, I was you. That is the moment when the ego gets caught, and the result is usually embarrassed silence. Afterward, the painful and lengthy work of self-education begins. A work we might say is the psycho-equivalent to the labors of Hercules. And that's the healing. This unfortunate hero's first task, you will remember, was to clean up one day the Aegean stables, in which hundreds of cattle and dropped their dungs for many decades. A task so enormous that the ordinary mortal would be overcome by discouragement at the mere thought of it. The shadow does not consist only of omissions. It shows up as often in an impulse or an inadvertent act. Before one has time to think, an evil remark pops out. The plot is hatched, the wrong decision is made, and one is confronted with the results that were never intended or are unconsciously wanted. Furthermore, the shadow is exposed to collective infection to a much greater extent than the conscious personality. When a man is alone, for instance, he feels relatively all right, but as soon as others do dark, primitive things, he begins to fear that if he doesn't join in, he will be considered a fool. Thus, he gives away the impulse that do not really belong to him at all. It is particularly in contact with people of the same sex that one stumbles over both one's shadow and those of other people. Although we do not see the shadow in a person of the opposite sex, we are usually much less annoyed by it and more easily pardon it. In dreams myths, and therefore, the shadow appears as a person of the same sex as that of the dreamer. The following dream may serve as an example. The dreamer was a man of 48 who tried to live very much for and by himself, working hard and disciplining himself, repressing pleasure and spontaneity to a far greater extent than suited his real nature. That's crazy. I owned and inhabited a very big house in the town, blah, blah, blah. It tells this whole story. Geez, that's a long story and very small writing. A maze of strange passages, chambers, and unlocked exist in a cellular recalled the old Egyptians' representation of the underworld, which is well-known symbols of the unconscious as its unknown possibilities. It also shows how one is open to the other influence in one's unconscious shadow side, and how uncanny and alien elements can break in. The cellular, one can say, in the basement of the dreamer's psyche. We talked about this yesterday in the form of alcohol, and we talked about it again today. It's like that's their shadow, and they encourage you to be part of their shadow. You know what I mean? Like you're not even a drinker, but they want you to drink. In the backyard of the strange building, which represents still perceived psychic scope of the dreamer's personality, an old school friend suddenly turns up. The person obviously personifies another aspect of the dreamer himself. An old friend shows up and he turns into something else. an aspect that had been part of his life as a child, but that he had forgotten and lost. It often happens that a person's childhood qualities, for instance, gaiety, or perhaps trustfulness, suddenly disappear, and one does not know where or how they have gone. It is such a lost character of the dreamer that now returns from the backyard and tries to make friends again. This figure probably stands for dreamer's neglected capacity for enjoying life and his extravagant or extroverted shadow side. But we must learn why the dreamer feels uneasy just before meeting this seemingly harmless old friend. This is interesting. A couple things. Let me show you the figures, and I showed you that. I see that. Those are in our sacred geometry, right? And that's like working through the mind, and that's how it is. And as soon as they said that, it's like, why did you get uneasy about seeing an old friend? Because a part of you is going to come out that you repress. The fact that the horse have no rider shows that the instinctive drive can get away from conscious control. In this old friend and in the horses, all the positive forces reappear that lacking before, and that was badly needed by the dreamer. Patterns. This is a problem that often comes up when one meets one's other side. The shadow usually contains values that are needed by consciousness, but that exist in a form that makes it difficult to integrate them into one's life. The passage of the large house in the dream also shows that the dreamer does not yet know his own psychic dimensions and not able to fill them out. The shadow in the dream is typical for introvert, a man who tends to retire too much from the outer life. In this case of an extrovert who is turned towards more outer objects and outer life, the shadow would look quite different. A young man who had a very lively temperament embarked again and again on successful enterprises, while at the same time his dreams insisted that he should finish off a piece of private creative work that he had begun. The following was the dream. So he's working through their dreams to represent it. That's what I'm seeing about this, the dreamland. On page 177 as we looked at that. Alright, so the shadow is a part of you that you repress, obviously, but that gets triggered by those outside of you. Okay, as he was referring to it, that was more of a misery loves company, where you can really be yourself. That goes back to Marshall and I. There's no need for us to be any better because we are accepting of the way we are. If one of us doesn't push us to be better, then we're just going to be like this forever. Why? Because we can look to each other and it's accepting. Well, he's like me. He can do it. And he looks to me and is like, well, she's like me. You know what I mean? It's that. We can find, you know what I mean? It's, you wouldn't say toxicity, but in most of your guys' relationship, it is. You know what I mean? If you don't elevate together, then you stay in that, toxic level together. Ultimately, it's your shadows that bring you together, because you can be yourself with this person. A side of you, you can show this person a side of you that you don't share with anyone else. Here it comes. I knew it when I saw that card earlier. Oh, God. Here we go. Let me give you a picture here. Mother freaker. Hold on. Where are you, bastard? There it is. Earlier in my card, I saw the Scorpio. Alright, Black Moon and Lilith and Scorpio. Who's my Scorpio? I have two. The other one, I swear, is gay. Why? I don't know. I have no reason. I mean, until he shows me differently, I have no reason not to believe he's gay. But in essence, it's Bobby. Right? So this is all about sexual alchemy. So when I'm with Bobby, a side of me comes out that I deny. but it's a true side of me. And this is a Scorpio. They're all about sex and shit like that. But I deny this side of me. But only when I'm around him can that whole side be seen, and I feel safe to be in that. Why? Because by nature it's allowed. You can be a freak with a Scorpio because they're freaky by nature. They're exploratory in essence. So that's how that works. Alright, so as we go through these cards, right, which are my dudes, these dudes. I don't know if I have a Leo. I have a book around here. Fucking Taurus, fucking Gemini. Who's my Gemini? Allie. I can be all truthful with Allie. Oh. I have a twin flame we don't talk about much. Because he's cool. That would be Brian. Brian's a Cancer. And, Brian allowed me to express it in the very beginning when I had my first, when I knew I was dealing with personality disorders. He was about to put me on stages and shit, and I came to Brian, and I'm like, Brian, I have, a personality disorder, and I just gotta let you know. And he's like, do you take medication for it? I was like, no. I was like, I'm just afraid, well, don't be afraid. I'm able to be myself around him. Ever since the beginning, dude, when I started really hardcore crashing into fucking spirituality and losing my mind, he was still there. Like, he honors, you know what I mean? He honors, if I send him a message, he'll say something really clever like, we always enjoy your energy. He honors my emotions, the ups and downs of them, right? I am always fighting with us and with Marshall about balancing us out, right? So, Russ always brings out all my unbalanced, all my, you could say, the thorn in my flesh. But then so does Marshall, all this shit. And make me have to balance my shit. Or I could just lose my shit. I can lose my shit on Russ all the time and feel totally good about it. All the time. I mean, I've been doing it for like 3 years now. I don't feel bad about losing my shit with Russ. No? Or Marshall. Who knows I'm gonna lose my shit. They have seen every part of my fucking shadow. Every part. Oh yeah, they weighed my heart. For sure. For sure. Then where are you? There you go, Mr. Hades. Whenever I'm aligned with him, I'm about taking charge of my own life. I want nothing to do with yours, I want to rule mine. Yeah, we work well together, don't we? We work well together. Where's my Capricorn? Where's my Capricorn? That would be Lewis. Where are you, Lewis? Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, Aquarius. I don't know, I'm not going through all of these cards. Oh, there's more. Mercury. Where's my Capricorn? Mars, Saturn, Taurus, Moon, Leo, Adam, Jupiter, Sun. I don't know. They're all over the place. I got cards all over the place. But in the essence, it's like, they're your self node. You can be yourself with them, but you have to, like, push yourself to be a better version of yourself. Sorry, I'm gonna look at you. That's why that comes up. And that's what it is. It's like, these, as you ascend, you need someone to ascend with you through all of this. Now, let's go back to your fucking shadow, right? While it may sound morbid, this is when remaining eternal dark energies rise to the surface. The shadow of the soul are visible, causing difficult emotions. What were my shadows yesterday? Well, you can always see them. I'm like, you can always see them. Like, what are you talking about? A shadow is a part of you that you hide. So I don't really hide anything, but they're just not acceptable parts of me that, you don't know of. Okay, and so in this case, I dug up my first marriage. That whole shadow. That whole thing created me to the woman that I am. It created the woman that I am, bro. At 15 years old, my first boyfriend, I was casted into being taught how to be a wife and a mother, and I always fell short according to his family and him. And for the rest of my life, people just said I wasn't a good enough fucking wife and a good enough mother. So I tried to be the best wife and mother for the second one, and that fucking ruined me. And then I fucking wake up with, you know what I mean, with twin flame number 1, with Bobby, want to be the best fucking wife and mother. This is a sick, fucked up fucking pattern I wish didn't happen, but it is who I am. Denying that I want to be this mother and this wife is denying who I've been my whole life. And what the fuck I'm working at right now. I'm not becoming something. I was always that something. I'm just becoming better at it. I was never anybody's girlfriend. You can't ask me to be something I'm not. God's just asking me to be more of what I am. And it's just accepting that. Because that's all I was made for. I had this dream before. I lived in this reality before Bobby woke me up. That I'd get to this age, you know, that my kids would get older. And one day I could just be free to just be a woman and do whatever I wanted. Without having to be someone's wife. And, you know, the kids wouldn't need me so much. God wants me to start all over. I loved being married. I loved the idea. I tried to be the best wife and the best mother. But all I cared about was everybody else's happiness, and that's what made me pretty bad at it. I thought being a good mother and a good wife meant making everybody else happy. Being Cinderella. That's all God wanted for me, as LILITH. And I came back, and that's what He made me. I kept good homes, I just wasn't happy. And when I got tired of not being happy, the homes fell apart, because I was the only one keeping them together. I did lots of things, but you look at how much of my life I wasted on men. Again, a whole side of me I hid. My whole life I hid. What a messy life. Then you just have to fucking sit there and sort through this bullshit, sort through this crime scene that's called your life with all these fucking pictures and people and shit, and just start burning shit. And I don't need that going forward. Nope, none of that, none of that. Never saw it before. I had to go back to the very beginning. My memories were a little foggy, but when I got pregnant with my daughter, I left. But then I ended up back in California. And I left after my mom died because my kids were already born. There's a patch of trauma I'm missing. There's a patch of trauma. Alright, let me think. How did I get back to California? Oh. Alright, I got that. That was Indiana. How'd that happen? Oh, man. Oh, man. Anyways, I didn't need that, but we got that. Okay, I was trying to figure that all out. But, yeah. It's just been trauma, bro. That's what I'm saying. I'm missing a past trauma here. Something's missing. If I was to sit here and put these years together, which I've been working on 3 years putting them together, it's unfucking believable, bro. Every fucking year of my life was fucking absolute tragic and trauma, bro. Fucking crime scenes, dude. Unbelievable shit, bro. Really? Yeah, bro. It's all pieced together. It's definitely not linear. And it all starts from, you know what I mean, activated by the shit outside of me. It's crazy. Imagine having that much mind control, bro. To literally just shut it off like that. It's not that easy now. I have to really use a lot of mind power to fucking, you know what I mean, change my ways. It's a lot of redirection. It's a lot of, you know what I mean, reassertion, a lot of self-discipline. No. You know, I don't know if you guys have that much mind control, but you really tell yourself whatever the fuck you want, and you can tell yourself what to do, and you make up these whole realities and scenarios, and you lock away fucking, you know what I mean, evidence and memories and fucking phone calls and total fucking shit that you don't, I don't know. When you start going back there and you start replaying some of this shit, you're gonna see it play out way differently. And those are those tower moments. It just happens, dude. You see a glimmer, the fucking veil comes down, and all of a sudden you see something completely different, bro. And it's calling you to act, to do something about this, to get rid of this. Alright, anyways, as you get through this stage, the putrefaction, that's where you know, purge the darkness of your mind as you start working through all that nasty shit. You get to this stage. Coagulation. You are now embodying your true essence. This is where the new spirit works with the physical body and becomes one. You're stepping into your soul's gold. What is it? After you get it all out, and then you sort through it, your spirit does. You gotta get it all out to see what it all is. It's a fucking crazy. You have all these pieces, all these memories, all these feelings, and now you gotta put it all together. And that's what I mean. That's the alchemical process. You take all these raw elements and you turn them into gold. You make this experience golden. You find the light in all this darkness. You realize. And that's it. It's like I had all these memories of the first husband. What am I getting out of this? What am I getting out of this? Why am I getting fed all this fucked up information? All these fucked up memories, all of this. What am I getting out of it? Well, today I got, you know, fucking carne asada fries and playas de Tijuana and fucking all these great fucking memories of, you know, California without the husband. If you remove him, then it was a great experience. And that's it. If I can remove them, instead I removed myself from a great experience. It was. Alright, the next stage is salvation. Purifying, cleansing, and releasing. Alchemy gets practical during this stage. New habits, thought process, and way of being are merging into your life. Mind over matter is essential. And that's where it is. It's like, alright, now looking back at it, we start creating new patterns, seeing where we fucked up, not where we fucked up, but what did we learn from seeing this? How is this playing out? How do we change this? You know what I mean? So you're changing, you're making new changes. Okay? That's the cibation. After that, you have sublimination. Ego star. The soul is lifting and ascending like vapor during this phase. This is a union between your body and spiritual essence. What does this mean? Your spirit is freed of the trouble of your mind over this one. Your mind is letting go now. Your mind is let it. And this is actually, I think, our moon phase right now. It's where your soul feels free. And that's where I was this morning. I feel free about this. I'm good about this. I feel good. My soul feels free. I feel like I'm at the beach again. I feel like none of this is bothering me anymore. I feel like I could go back there and I'm okay now. It's a free spirit feeling. Where you just, you know what I mean? It happens when your mind finally, you know, when all of this, the process of your mind releases and stuff, your spirit becomes free. Right? That's what that means. Spiritual magic. Alright. Fermentation. Patience and maturity. Like when grapes turn to wine, this is the maturing and aging process of your new way of being. Gold must age to become more powerful. Alright, this is where, so for me, something simplistic is, I was told on Friday to stop saying the F word. So then what happened? Well, I was told on Thursday, and then I turned around and called that dude an F word on Friday. And then I was like, alright, and then here I come again, and I'm like, you know, we've got it, it's still coming, the purge is still coming, I'm still showing this shadow, where it comes from, and that's where I said, where does this come from, why do I use it, where is it, I need to change this, and that's where I was like, Marshall, stop saying that word, we have to stop saying that word, because if you say it, I'll say it, and we'll just be calling everyone freaking F words. We have to stop this, and that's where it is, we push each other to be better. Somebody has to Kobe us. Somebody has to come in and say, stop being an asshole. Be better. And that's what I always tell them. Don't get mad at me because, you know, God wants us to be better. That we ain't got no parents to tell us to be better. That we're so fucking grown and nobody tells us to be better. Be fucking better. So that's where it is. And it's going to take time. Will we say it again? I mean, if he don't fucking stop, he's going to say it before I do. Why? Because I don't usually use it as much as he does. That's not true. I call everyone that. Anyways, patience. It's going to take time. Why? Because it's just going to come. You'll be ready to call this dude something, and then you're like, no. And it's not just that. Did you see? They're trying to tell me to be nice and quit calling people names. Not just that name, but names. Damn it. They're asking a lot, right? I know. They just want us to be better. Going back to, you know, Twin Flame X, asking him not, you know, getting all in his grill while drinking and then making all these videos. I'm asking you to challenge yourself to be better. Yeah, I'm asking you to give up something that you enjoy. I promise you'll be okay and you'll enjoy life without it. It's just a pattern of your life. You can give this up. It will make you better if you give it up. It will take, you know, patience and maturity. It will be hard for you. Like, oh, I can't drink around her. I'm just asking you to be better. A better version of yourself, then you have to be around other people. You can get slaughtered around other people and act a fucking fool and piss in people's fucking yards and, you know, fall over and whatever you might do when you get drunk. I'm asking you not to be that person around me. To be a better version of yourself. And perhaps practice that self-discipline when you go outside, too. I don't want to be driving down the street and you're fucking streaking. Who's fucking streaking, Nika? Get in the car, bro. You're wasted. How many did you have tonight? Well, it started with beer pong. What was in the fucking cup, douchebag? In the essence, I'm all forgiving, but you need to work on this. It's just that hard. Do you think it's not just as hard for Marshall not to run around calling people fucking names? And I'm telling you to put down the cup? I'm telling this dude to get out of his fucking mommy's fucking minivan? Guys, I know. Who's asking you to do this? God. Why? Because a certain level of excellence, he's calling us to a certain level of excellence for ourselves and for others and to show the discipline and what it takes. You guys are acting like you ain't got what it takes, and that's really getting on my nerves. You're really getting on my nerves with this. Like, you can't break some habits and shit. Russ, you're really getting on my nerves with this shit. You've been on my nerves with this shit for reals, bro. Russ brings out the Lilith. The raging Lilith. Marshall loves it. He thinks it's the sexiest thing ever. He's like, dude, this is so Cali. He loves it. It's not. Russ is getting his fucking ass burned left and right. He's like totally scorched, trying to rise from the ashes. I'm all with a fucking tear gas and everything else. Stop bringing out the worst in me, bro. Shit. Every fucking time fucking Bobby comes up, I become fucking super freak and shit. Can you stop? Can you just stop bringing out the parts of me? Yeah, they're great. Can we be great in other areas? Jesus. In the essence, it's like, I want you to talk shit, burn people, and fuck me. Come on! You're not helping me be a better person. Don't you want to? Shut up, Wolfman. You're exactly not helpful at all. Absolutely. Just feed into your desires. Just feed it. That's what he said. That's what he said. This cunt, excuse me, this person said it on his last live. I've been manifesting a woman to feed me grapes and massage me during my videos, and I've found one. They just haven't got online yet. You found a dumb broad to sit there and... It's so Hades. I don't like you. Whatever. Men might think this is cute. I think it's demeaning. She's a dumb broad. Any dumb broad that's... Shut up. I was about to say something mean. I'd do it to the rest of my men, but not you. Anyways, you're pissing me off. I don't like you. Go away. Oh, God. This is what he uses his manifestation powers for? It's to have some dumb broad feed him grapes and massage him while he's doing love readings? This is what he tells you power is. I can't believe you, bro. I'm sure the American fucking culture really loves this shit. They love that shit all over the world. I want to be that broad. I want to rub your back. I want to feed you grapes. You're a douchebag. You know that? That behavior will chew every woman in the world but me. I don't like it. Ugh. I can't stand these guys, God. Why did you make them? For your entertainment. I mean, here comes Russ. Are you entertained? I'm not entertained with your fucking 40-song set list. Bro, sing some more. Sing your heart out on my holy grounds. I still am not fucking answering the door to this bullshit. Like, nope, I don't drink wine. red wine. I'm being a cunt. It's just the way I am. Things will never be this. Shut up, Hawk. You're not helping either. You are like the definition of no help. He's just there to protect me. He's not really helpful in the ascension. I just drag his ass along. Tell him he's got to be better too. Alright, joy, abundance, happiness, and wealth can manifest in this stage. This is when the stones start to form. You are in alignment with your truth and magnetism. I'm aligning with the fact that I want to be a wife and mother. Which means it's just going to happen faster. Oh, man. And that's it. Why are you fighting it? Why are you fighting it? Because I'm afraid of it. We'll face the fears. Thanks. I've been working on it. And finally, embody your higher self with ease. Manifestations are becoming instantaneous. Yeah, they're coming in. With a proposal. It's in all the videos. Some of them don't look so good. Multiplication is what comes after this. Your higher self. Right? To be an expert alchemist like myself, you gotta repeat this process. This is when you revisit past stages or implement the Magnum Opus daily to strengthen your new self. That's where you're constantly in reflection, bro. You're not fully self-analyzing and self-critiquing yourself. You're just self-aware. You act out a pattern, right? You do something, and then afterwards you're like, why did I do that? Okay, that's the start of self-realization. You start going down this huge-ass journey, and you realize why you act a fucking fool. And then you start through the, okay, I'm not going to act like that. And you start doing those kind of things throughout your entire day. You're just, I don't want to say critiquing. You're evolving and bettering yourself. All the time. And that's really it is. It's a self-evaluation all the time for me. It's like, you know, when I come in contact with people, it's like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I can be better than that. And that's Kobe. It's like, it's in me to master me. You know what I mean? Let me be, but let me see how I can be better. In the essence, I don't think before I act. I'll think about how I acted after the fact. And then I can do the work. But if I don't see how I act, if I'm always reserved, not, you know what I mean, reserving myself, then I don't know what it is. So that goes back to when I did see Bobby. All right, I'm going to let myself go here. Let's see how it happens. Well, that was very fucking shocking. I realized a lot of things. First off, I played in my head. This is how I played this shit, bro. This is how I played it in my head. This was my play for 3 years or 2.5, whatever, how long it had been. That he was a fuckboy. He was cheating on his wife, and I was just another piece of ass. That's what I told myself, right? That's what I told myself. He just wanted to fuck and would leave. That's not what happened. When I finally when I saw what I did, I was like, that's not what's happening. You're like basically raping this guy every time you come around him. Pretty much is what I saw. And I was like appalled. Like, why did you do that? And then I asked him, you knew I was going to do that, huh? He said, yep. He's seen me do it too many times. I just never seen me do this shit. And it was crazy. It's like, well, that's me, I guess. Let me work on me. And they're like, do better. And I choked. In the essence, that's a part of me. There's a huge, seriously freaky part of me that comes out when it feels safe. And it's going to rape you. It's going to make you cheat on your wife or do some crazy things. Why? Because it wants you. Who's what? Me. I want to explore sexuality with you in all kinds of ways. I want to see how this feels. I want to see how good I am at things. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. In the essence of, you know, your shadows. They're just parts of you that you're always looking at. You're like, oh, okay. And that's what it is like you got to let yourself be free to breathe and then see where you need to, you know, take deeper breaths. Hold your mouth. I'm sorry. I'm making this too fun. I am. I'm just too funny. Anyways, you have to do this all the time. And that's what it is. It's like, you know, your higher self is where you're in control now and you're just letting yourself be, but I don't want to say critiquing because it comes with criticism. That's not what we do. That's not what we do. That's not what we do. Kobe does not sit with me and be like, you did this wrong and you did this wrong and you did this wrong and you did this wrong. That's not what happens at all on a Monday. They show me what I did. And they show me, you know what I mean? They'll keep replaying it to see what I could have done differently. And the whole time, Pac is laughing. The whole time. He's showing all the things I should have probably not did. And he's laughing, and he thinks it's hilarious. And Kobe's just sitting there with a smile on his face, and he's shaking his head. And we're just sitting there watching this, and I'm trying not to laugh. And I'm trying to say I can do better. What did you say to him? I mean, yeah, I said that. Why did you say that? I mean... I remember picking a fight with Marshall in the last couple days and talking about his grandkid. Did that happen? They're showing me that. Why? I don't know. I was told to piss him off. Or something. I don't remember. Oh yeah, we were talking about his daughter's lack of creativity. Shall we piss you off again? I told you. They'll come through. They'll come through real quick and be like, look what you did. In the sense of, do you remember what you did last week? Nope. You want to remind me? I bet you do. I mean, there's a lot of these moments where I'm like, damn, what was you thinking? That's that shame, blame, guilt, and embarrassment. Then you're like, well, let me explain. And that goes back to the other Scorpio. Why do you think he's gay? Let me explain. Until he can change my thoughts, until he can change my perspective, I only see it that way. You think he's gay? I don't think he's really married. How about we start there? I think he has a serious bromance. I could turn him straight. This is what my spirit's saying. I'm not taking goofy challenges like that. That's hilarious. But in the essence of, I mean, I have my reasons. And I've thought that since the beginning. I have yet to change that thought process. He tried to say he was married and shit, but I still don't believe it. I've yet to see him with a woman. Now we're going back to it. You think I have reason to believe, logically speaking, given the information in front of me. So what my heart says, my mind's telling me, yo. Alright, let's talk about your shadows and shit. Multiplication. After that, after you spend all that time evaluating yourself, which is all day, the last stage is the final phase where you have achieved the Philosopher's Stone, the desired result of alchemy. You can project your true essence into the world with ease, and this high frequency is mirrored back to you with support and abundance from the universe. What does that mean? When you're not in your way anymore, then you can get what you want out of the universe. I told you about that yesterday. I'm sending out mixed waves, mixed signals. Meaning I'm calling you in, but then when you get in, I freak out and I push you away. Right? And that's what it is. Why? Because I'm calling in my biggest fear. And then when you get here, I get scared. If you don't go anywhere, I run away. Why? Well, we explained why. That's what took all this time. Just trying to figure out the why. Why do you act like this? Well, let me explain. And there was many layers to it. And there's still more layers. Why are you freaking out all the time? Because I had a weird life and it makes me freak out in everyday situations. Stand back. That's why I don't go out much. It's not a bad thing. I don't want to go out there and freak out. I don't want to be bothered by people in their situations. It's very bothersome out there. I'm fine. I'm fine in my padded walls. In the essence, I'm not crazy, but I was because I shut down. And that's what you guys do. You shut down to any new experiences because of your fears. The past is projecting into your future. Even though you want a happy relationship, you don't because you're afraid of the last relationship. You want a good life, but you're afraid because of the last life. You want to move, I don't want to go to San Diego because of what happened last time in San Diego. What the fuck happened in last time? I don't know. Nothing really. I mean, and that's really it is. It was like, what's happened to me? And that's it. It's like you're projecting, you're still living in the fears of the past. And that's because they haunt you. The memories just haunt you. You just have to face them and see there's nothing to be afraid of. There ain't shit for me to be afraid of in Dago. Not damn thing, dude. I made sure of that. My faux. They're like, oh shit, Loetta's back. I mean, ultimately. Said I was never coming back to this shithole. I need 12 tacos, please. We knew you'd back, Tita. The white girls always come back for the taco. They got me at the food. For realies. In the essence, that's what it takes. And you have to do this all the time, is face yourself and make hard decisions. You know what I mean? You'll be like hanging out with your friends and they're like, they said some shit that rubs you wrong and you're going to act like you didn't hear that? They're not annoying and they don't think like that and they're better than that. No, they're not. You better be better than that because they're no better than that. They're going to say some other stupid shit. That's what I mean. I cannot hang out with fucking Marshall or any of his stupid ass friends without fucking being low vibrational. Can't. We're going to have to do some high vibrational shit. We can't hang out with your low vibrational friends because they bring up the low vibes. Really? Yeah. They want to fucking drink gin and juice and shit. Talking about money and bitches and shit. That's dumb. It's a waste of time and space. That's it. You too, Russ. No. Can't hang out with you if you got to be home to your mommy in an hour and she's texting you the whole fucking time and she has keys to your house, you weirdo. I don't want to be running around naked in your house with your parents and your keys and your fucking everything. I'm not taking pictures in front of your plaques like every other girl that comes in this fucking door. You're such a weirdo. I don't want to be part of any of this. Burn it down. Jesus. He's so proud of it, too. This is my life, and this is my life, and this is my life, and this is my... Whatever, dude. Get a life. Captain Jack Sparrow. I'm gonna call you that forever. Why? Because you and your bandanas, bro. Are you hiding that fucking enormous fucking forehead that I keep talking about, your 5 head? Or is it your receding hairline? What are you hiding under there? Bloody big head? Hey, love you, Russ. See you in a couple days, right? Shut up. You wish. Why? Because you bring out the worst. There's nothing good's coming out of you. Nothing good is coming out of your mouth. You want to talk about some low vibrational bullshit with a drink in your hand. Sorry, bud. I'm sorry. Seriously. That's Allie. Let's sing a song about what, Allie? About our fucked up feelings? How about no, Allie? How about no? I don't want to talk about being rejected anymore. I'm tired of staying in that stupid ass low vibration. Marshall, I'm tired of being angry. Stop being angry about shit. Are you even mad? You're not even mad. You just want to be all angry. You're not even a true fire sign. You don't know, you know. Like a little spark of fire. Like a smoldering fire. Just kidding. I'm having fun with you guys. So, yeah, your shadow is you, but you need to integrate you and be like, okay, this is who I am, and I can be a better version of what I am. It is you. Because I am whatever you say I am. You are, you fucking lunatic. You're a whole psychopath. Because I'm a killer. What does it say? A criminal? You're all that shit. That's why you made all those songs saying you were, so nobody else could call you it. Alright, fine. Call it what you want to call it. I don't give a shit. But what are you going to do with all this? What are you going to do with this whole soup called Marshall Mathers? You just sit around being soupy? Sleepy. That's a good song. Remember that song? Damn, that's old. That might be before your time, old man. Father time. That's it, guys. I just wanted to teach you the process. And the reason we got in there is because that's the way to ascension. I mean, as you start doing these regularly, you start ascending past your conscious into the unconscious. As you go into higher levels, you're facing higher, or more is what they say, your own demons, your own fears, your own misbeliefs, your own, you know, you. You are standing in your way of greatness. Your mind has this idea of what greatness is, but that's not great at all. That's like make America great kind of bullshit. That's not great for everybody. That's not great for the greater good. Your true heart is on an ascension to greatness, but the whole time it's going to have to fight your mind and all its fears and limiting beliefs of persecution, embarrassment, and egotism of not living up to the materialistic world that everyone else lives up to. That's how it works. And as you start working through that, that is the Magnum Opus. That whole process is the Magnum Opus, where you're just changing your ways, your way of life and your way of thinking. You have to change the way you think to change the way you live. And that's where that, you know, the gold comes from. Because when you're not thinking negatively and you're always positive, you're bringing in positivity. It really is. And that's just how it is. And that's where it says is your manifestations become real. So, like, I'm really going to really get married, and that's where it is the more I fight for this, the more it becomes real. But if I'm not fighting for it, then I'm not, you know what I mean? The more I live in the fear of it. Facing the fears is just getting, you know what I mean? I don't know. I would always be afraid of men if I didn't just keep fighting these. And in essence, there was nothing to fear. Underneath it all was this uncontrollable desire to love people. That's underneath me. That got me in a lot of trouble because I didn't know how to regulate that love. If you look back at the whole torture fest called my life, I was being taken advantage of because I was too giving, people pleasing. You know what I mean? I was putting myself into positions where I was going to get hurt. But I had the best intentions because I had, you know what I mean? Somebody else's happiness, I suppose, in mind. So these aren't bad qualities. My fear was real, is that I'm going to give too much of myself to someone else. That was a very real fear, and I had to go back and realize how badly I had done that. Relive how much of myself I really did give to other people and pull that back. Can I stop being that giving going forward? I don't think I'm supposed to. Because you go back to the beginning of this, and God just wanted me to be like that with Him. And when I said I couldn't, then He's like, okay, well then go be like that with Russ. Be all loving with Russ. I can't. Go be all loving with freaking Allie. I can't. Go be all loving. You know what I mean? It was that. It's like, just keep breaking yourself to be this again, which was all loving again. But I had to fight my ego and the programming. I won't do this again. I won't sink this low. I won't be this person. I had to go against my own programming to love again. And each man called me to break more programming. I can't love this type of man. I can't love this type of man. I can't accept this kind of situation. I can't accept this. I won't accept this. I won't do this. I built this concept, this wall, and I had to little by little break my own rules to try to just love someone, to just give them love, like God was saying. Just go show them some love. No, I'm not going to do that. Why? Because I'm going to be humiliated if I do this. And that's where I got to the point where you're looking pretty dumb out there when you're in love, and that's okay. It's funny now. You're trying not to look dumb. You're trying not to humiliate yourself. You're trying really hard to have some control over this and act like you know how to date and that, you know how to talk and dress and go and, you can handle this. But being the uncontrollable, loving being that I am, I can't. I try. It looks so fucking gross trying to hold it back. Trying to hold back, you know what I mean, my true heart, my words, anything, my feelings. And that's what it was. It's like, I put all of these mechanisms into play to hold myself back. Going back to Bobby, that was like, I had to work through so many consciousnesses that were like, nope, 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 no way, no, this is a no, and a no, and a no. Nobody was telling me no, bro, especially not him, not his wife, not anybody. It was me, and not even God. God was telling me yes. God was pushing me to go love this man. The only one stopping me was me. And that goes to all of them. The only one stopping me is me. How far will I go? It doesn't matter that I push them away. It's that how much of me will I let out? It doesn't matter how much of it scares you. It's how much of that can I let out after I've hidden it for all these years. I've kept all of this love, all this passion, all this excitement, all this kindness, all this cuddliness, all of this absolute desire to want to bathe you and cook for you and sleep next to you and spend all of my time freaking worrying about your needs. All of that. A whole Queen of Cups was hidden under there. And I had to, fight my mind to let her out, to be that. Stop being mean, stop being harsh, stop being unapproachable, stop acting like you don't want this. But you see, it wasn't an act. I didn't want it because I was afraid of it, and I had every reason to be terrified of it, because I don't know how to stop loving once I love. And that's not a bad thing, because God said to love them. We get pissed off, and that's that conditional love. We get upset because they're not loving us back. They're not meeting us. They're not giving us as much love. They're not giving us as much time. They're not giving us as much energy as we give them. So he put me in the position where nobody loved me back, but just to keep giving it. And when I did that, I realized that that was the good feeling. It felt good to love them, even if they didn't give me any attention back, even if they never said anything back. It felt good to flirt. It felt good to be passionate, to be open, to be truthful. It felt good to open up again. And that's where it was. It wasn't about, a part of me definitely craved. I wanted you to talk back. I wanted you to love me back. I wanted your attention. I wanted your affection. And it killed me that you wouldn't give it. But it didn't stop me from loving you. And that's what kept me in bad relationships. I'd still love you if you didn't treat me right. And that wasn't good for me. And I was breaking these patterns. And putting boundaries and saying, no, I'm not going to do this to myself anymore. You have to be better than what I've allowed other men to do. And yeah, maybe that's not fair to you, but you're going to be a better man anyways. And that's just it. I call for excellence. That's because I'm, you know what I mean, built on excellence. We're never going to be perfect. We're not really striving to perfection. We're striving to master ourselves. And, you know what I mean? We're not, there's so many parts to us that we can keep working with to make better. And that's what this is it's a marathon of mastering myself. And, you know, everything else. My healing, other people. And that's where I have all of these things coming in right now. It's like, you know, my documentary, all of this, you know, I had to break up all the pieces of myself, put myself back together to create the gold, which is my life. And in doing all that breaking down, that was the gold. Doing something that nobody ever wanted to do before and showing how it's done and then continuing to teach people made me the master at this. I can't just, you know, deliver the documentary until I fully mastered that part of it. And that's where it's like, you know, it's taken me about 3 years to get through this, to master it, to where I'm not a full master, but I've mastered the process. And we will revisit, and we can do that, and in all areas where I can teach this now. And it's like, you know, there was still much learning, you know, to be, before you can become a teacher of it. I now have all of the information to show you what it is that I had done that allowed me to become a transcendental being and master myself. And then also access, you know what I mean, my past lives and master the karma of those lives too into this life. And that's what I'm teaching people to do. And that's my huge focus. But it started with mastering myself, and not necessarily for another person, but just for my own peace. I wanted peace, and you know, when my peace is disturbed, I make changes to make sure that I can bring peace and balance back in. And that's what I'm trying to, you know, teach you guys. But a lot of it is, you know, the separation. You're gonna sever a lot. And that's, you know, as I'm seeing it, I'm saying, you know, when you leave to college, you can't take your childhood on to college. And when you leave from college and you go back home, you can't take college back home with you. You know what I mean? And when you go on to get married, you don't take that life. You know what I mean? You change. You're still that person, but it was that person that got you to the next level where you'll become the next better version of yourself. I still have a version of a great mother and a great wife. But then after that, at some point, I'll also get a version of being someone's grandmother. I'll get to play that role one day. I'll get to be a grandmother. Something that, you know, some women don't get to enjoy. My kids didn't have all of that, and I'll get to be able to do that for their kids as kids. And it's just it. It's like, I can't be, you know, in order to be someone's grandma, I can't be out here being, you know, Stifler's mom and shit. We change the roles. I wouldn't say act accordingly, but we step into that role. Realistically. And to be honest, I'm like the only one out of all my siblings that isn't already a grandparent. Their kids had teen kids. They didn't break the curse. They were all teen parents. And they're in their 20s. These ones, I don't know, they're not very, I mean, don't get me wrong, my daughter loves all sexes, but we're still looking good so far. There's not a lot of sexual behavior going on around here, obviously. And that's because sex equals babies. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing to step away from that and try to break some, you know, some habits in the family. Sex doesn't equal love. It's a way of showing love, but that's not going to keep you in love. You know, there's more to love than just body-to-body action. if that's all it is, that's just lust, guys. So again, I'm just teaching you. That's all we've been doing is reviews. We have new people. We're about to step into a new cycle. We've already been through some of the cycles, and we did them pretty fast. We cycled through them. The 7/7 portal, things will start to, by the summer, you know, by, we already pulled midsummer, so by Lignasa, that'll be our last harvest, and then we'll really start getting into it. We go by the season, so it's through the dark season that we do most of our dark work. Really? Yeah, fall into winter, into spring. Summer's just a blast. You're supposed to have a summer break. I'd just be like hiding in air conditioning, like take it easy. We had a lot of our planets retrograde. They're all going to start coming back around, I forgot when. I don't know, October or some shit like that. November, October. That's exactly when it happens. Sahame, which is when the veil is thinnest. So we're moving into it, and I'm getting you ready for it. Well, we'll have to really, but we still do it, and that's where it is you could do this all day, where you're sitting down in your quiet space and you have those reflective moments, where you're reflecting back on some patterns, some ways of life, some things you need to change. You know, simple things like, we started drinking almond milk. I bought a couple gallons of milk since then, but there was no reason to. After we made the change, we made the change. The only reason I bought the other gallons of milk is because they were cheaper. And that's really weird to say, but, you know, just weird changes like that. It's like, I never considered drinking almond milk. I know it's healthier for you. I never tried it. So I tried it, and it was fine. And then it's like, I did it a couple times, and then I went back to my old way, and then I'm like, well, I'll just stick to the other way, because it's healthier. They say it's fine. Why not? And that's just it. Making small changes to making large changes. It just depends. Just constantly making changes in your life is part of this journey. It's accepting change, initiating change, being part of the change, inspiring change. So that's what I got for you. I don't know if anything else will come up. I'm really just enjoying it. That's all they wanted me to talk about was, you know, what we do over here. And that's what we do. We face the parts of us that we haven't come to terms with and that nobody knows exist. We come to terms with those parts, and we let those parts be validated in our everyday life. You know what I mean? And that's it. And as I said that, it's like, I had to really let people understand the severity of my sexual trauma for them to understand that this is an everyday part of my life that needs to be treaded lightly on. You know what I mean? There's things that have happened in my life that I haven't told you, that if we don't talk about these things, we're not going to have a good life together. There's certain things that you need to, you know what I mean? It's like, me being quiet about your drinking is me being respectful and keeping the peace, but it's not honoring the fact that I'm always going to be on edge, wondering, you know what I mean, how many it takes you and how much and all of this. Like, I'm always going to be uncomfortable with this whole situation. But I don't want to lose you, and I don't want to force you to change, and I don't want to act like, you know, I don't love you, so I'm going to, you know what I mean, put myself in an uncomfortable position just to, you know, entertain you or be around you. And that's where it is. It's like, that was harsh. It was. And it was really hard. And that's why I got mad at Russ. It's like, you have no idea how hard it is to do these. To sit down and paint these boundaries. To protect yourself from your own pains. And just to have some fucking peace. To stand on business. And mean business, bro. And understand that some people are just not going to accept that, bro. It's like, no, I'm not going to stop drinking. Alright, I understand. Don't make me feel bad for asking you. This stems from a hurt place. That's it. I understand. And that's it. Can they stop drinking? They could. They worked hard at it, but they don't want to. And I'm asking them to do something they don't want to do. There is a good chance that one of my freaking husbands are going to ask me to stop smoking cigarettes. Why? It's the only thing I like to do. I'm not hurting you, am I? I don't smoke by you. I don't smell like an ashtray. What's the problem? It doesn't change me around you. Stuff like that. And that's the difference. It's like, you know, there are some things. It's like, can you stop talking like that? What? And that's it. It's like, is this compromisable? Can you make a change for this person? Are you going to be hard-headed about it and not make compromises? And that's where I was. I was like, I don't want to compromise. I'm not compromising. I'm not compromising myself. In the essence, it's like you stand on it, you know, you build yourself up, and the last thing you want to do is break yourself down. I'm not willing to break myself down, but I can, you know, bend and shift. But I'm not bending over backwards. And that's where it is. It's like after you've spent so much time rebuilding yourself, the last thing you want to do is take yourself apart again. And I mean, like, no, you don't like how I built myself? I built myself up to a fucking badass bitch. What are you talking about? No, but I'd like you to take off and do this. No. Wait, what do you want? That's that surrender. If I don't compromise, they don't compromise, and there's no compromise. It's called a stalemate, a Two of Swords, where nobody's moving anywhere on this because nobody wants to give a little. And that's where it is. It's like, alright, fine, I'll give up the cursing, but you give up, I don't know, whatever you fucking do. You're gonna give up something too. Why? Because why do I have to walk on eggshells to prove myself? You better sit there and take your fucking shoes off too, motherfucker. Let's see how far you make it. Better meet me halfway. Just saying, there's lots of work that needs to be done. You're not perfect. You're not. People will accept you the way that you are, but you're not. That doesn't mean anything. Will they accept you if you become better, is the question. I didn't get worse. I got better. My lifestyle outside looks like it got worse, but that was part of the process of getting better. I had to Job, bro. I had to Job, bro. God asked all the prophets to do it. I had to Job, bro. Just leave it alone. He'll bring it back. Don't you understand how much all this is worth anyways? Quit worrying about what I don't have. I have plenty. Stop worrying about that shit, bro. I had to Job. Leave it alone. I'm the only person that's ever been Jobbed in this fucking time and space, bro. You've never seen it done. It's gonna be worth billions to see someone get Jobbed. You watched it. You watched me give it all up and you called me crazy. I told you I wasn't crazy. Now you're gonna have to give up some things too, Job. Or you're gonna be a Jonah and go hide in the fucking whale's belly. Quit playing around. God said give some shit up, Job. Show your faithfulness. In the essence. That's it. Fucking going back to fucking Russ. You were so mad because I told you had to give up your fucking family. Look at you now. Mommy's boy. What fucking album's all about your mom again? Still. You didn't get much better there, buddy. Fucking Bobby. You're mad because I told you to give up a wife? I was offering you a marriage. Stupid. Get on my nerves with that shit. Fucking Marsha, you're mad because I told you to give up your shit-talking friends because you can't stop talking shit with these stupid-ass friends. All they do is talk shit, and they fucking make all this money off of you talking shit. Fuck them. Fucking shit. Fucking, you guys be mad at me. Mad at me because I told you to go on a fucking date. You're mad at me because I told you to go on a date, Allie? Fucking asshole. You're mad at me because I asked you to go on a date? Stupid. You're being a weenie. All of you are. Royce, you're mad? So I told you to step away from the fucking wife and go be a man for a little while? Go find a man boot camp and shit? Fucking man up? Go being her fucking bitch? Fucking Nate? Fucking Nate? Jesus Christ, Nate. That bitch these bitches hold down the house. What the fuck are you doing but taking up space any motherfucking way? Just sitting there. Just sitting there. Shut up. Shut up. Get on my nerves. Being married to a guy like you that just sits around all day like that. It's kind of alright, I guess. I think we'd get tired of each other if you sat around in my face all day. Like, for the first, so long, but then so long. I mean, space is good. Space is good. Hey, I love you guys. Deal with your shadows and shit. And yeah, we'll deal with more of them as they come. I'm gonna take a break. Later, haters.